This conference will now be recorded.
So, in the last class, we have seen almost every type of CDS views except uh, the virtual data models. Virtual data models we didn't see this, and CDS table functions. CDS table functions. So these are the two pending topics that are available. And one more thing is converting the CDS view into a OData service. Converting the CDS view into a OData service. And the next one is we do have the virtual data elements. Now today we are going to start it with this virtual data elements. Virtual data element. What is meant by this virtual data elements? So for example, so these are the elements which will be created virtually. So that means we can't able to see the output of these fields in SAP. One second. For that. So these are virtually created in we can't able to see the output in SAP either from CDS view or from SE11 or from your program also you can't able to see this. You can't able to call this. But where this will be used? So in case of Fury, now if I want to expose only when we are exposing the CDS view to a OData service, then we can able to use this one. So what is the main purpose of creating the virtual data element? Now, for example, in a CDS view, I want to call any function module, or any class method, or I want to do a calculation field. I want to do a calculation field which you can't able to achieve, the calculation field which you can't able to achieve from the normal CDS view. So in those cases, in these type of cases, we will create a virtual data element. We'll create a virtual data element. Now, so for this, we need to have the following annotations. The annotations are @object.model. One second. So we do have three annotations. One is, see, this is the one. So virtual elements are defined in the CDS consumption view leveling by using a specific data model annotation. Sorry, not object model, it's a data model annotation. So the calculation of processing logic of field is written in the ABAP code. So we will be writing this in our ABAP code. Implementations of this virtual element is done using an ABAP code. ABAP code is called as an ABAP code exist API. You can call this as an ABAP code exist API. You can use this virtual element for read only purpose as well as for the transactional scenarios. As well as for your transactional scenarios, you can able to use this. Now, when to create? For instance, is a business required to add a custom field to the CDS view, which is calculated using an ABAP code. I was telling you, right, which you have to calculate using an ABAP code. Then we will be going and creating this virtual data elements. Now, use cases. You can use the virtual elements to implement the following cases. To define the calculated fields that are not part of database tables, filtering of the calculated field values, sorting of the calculated field values. In all these cases, how to implement? The first thing is we need to in this, the first thing is we need to provide the annotations. We need to provide the annotations, and the next one is we need to call the ABAP class in our CDS view. And the third thing is we need to write the logic in the ABAP class by calling an interface. I'll tell you the interface. What is the interface you have to call? So there is an interface, so which is required. That is one of the most important interview question too. You have to remember that. Okay. So the annotations are object.model, object model read only, read only is equal to true. The next one is object model implemented by virtual element. So see, this is the one. Virtual element is equal to true. The next one is object model virtual element calculated by, or virtual element calculated by. So the virtual element calculated by, you need to mention your ABAP and you need to mention the exit of your class. You need to mention the class. So that is how you need to write. You have to write ABAP and then you need to provide the class name. Provide the class name. So this is the one. So the next thing is, once you have provided this one, Now you need to get this field value. So this is the one. So this is how you have to do it. So now once you have done this, so you need to write what is the field. So you have to mention the cached operator. So what is the outbound value? I'm just giving it as space as abap.cat 100 as whatever your field, output field. So this is the one you need to write. So these three are your annotation and this is your ABAP field. These three are your annotation and this is your ABAP field. Okay, so this is the one you have to mention. Now coming to this class, you need to go to SE24 of your GUI. So open the class or create the class and call the interface. What is the interface I need to call? So I need to call an interface, this one. Interface saddle exit calculated, sorry, not this one. This is the methods that will be come up. Yeah, this is the one. if underscore saddle underscore sadl underscore exit calculated element read. Exit calculated element read. Always do see that I was mentioning the read only concept. So now this is the interface you need to mention. When we provide this interface, we can have we will be getting two methods. So let me show you that. So I'm just going to my SE24. Now I'm going to SE24. So GCL CDS calculated field. So I'm just going to click on create. I'll say the calculated field and I'm going to say this as final class. Click on save. I'm just saving that to my local object as of now. Now in this interface, I'm going to call if SADL I'm just going to say F4. You will be getting this one, code for calculation fields. So once you provide this one and click on enter, you can see two methods. One is the get calculation info. The second one is the calculate. One is the get calculation info. The second one is the calculate. So in this get calculation info, you will be providing what are the fields you want to be provided. What are the input fields you want to get from the CDS view? What are the input fields? Because you can't able to provide your parameters as it is an interface. Can you able to change the properties of a method? No, that is called as method overloading. Method overloading is not supported in SAP, whereas method overriding is supported. Okay. Now that is not possible. So if I go to this methods, so you will be filling up this calculated fields. This is the one you will be filling up. And the same fields you are going to use that in your next method, the read calculate. Here you will be going and using this one. See, IT requested calculated elements and you will be providing the data into CT calculated data. You will be providing the data into your CT calculated data. That is what you have to do it. So now here you have to write the ABAP code, and update the CT calculated data. CT calculated data you have to update. So this is the one you have to do it. This is the one you have to do it. Okay. Now let me go ahead and done that within your HANA Studio. I'm just logging into my HANA Studio. I'll just click on launch. I'm going to my CDS and just log into this. Now let me take the same example. So I'm just going to write it out here. Now what I will do, I'll go ahead and say object object model dot. So what is the first one? Read only is equal to your ABAP true. So I'm just going to read this. The next one is the object model dot virtual element is equal to true. I'm just creating this as my virtual element, and the object model dot virtual element calculated by, and you need to provide your ABAP. And what is your class name you have created? So this is your class name. Just click on yes. As of now, I'm just going to copy this one. I'm going to paste it over here. GCL CDS view, GCL underscore CDS underscore CALC underscore FIELD field. Now what is the next one you need to write? You need to write cached. So you don't know the field, add abap.cat, and you need to provide your length. Let's say I'm going to provide, usually we'll be providing it as 255 characters, as CALC field. So now again, if you want, you can go ahead and write these end user annotations also. So if I want to write my end user annotation, end user text dot label. So I can say calculated field. The next one is your end user text dot info. Quick info, I'll say this as calculated field. So that's it. So this is what you have to do. Now these calculated fields, I want to move it to my CDS view. Now what are the fields I need to take into consideration? Let's take, for example, I want to take my sales order number. Take my sales order number. For this sales order number, I want to read the text. So you do have a function module. How can you read your text? how to read your sales order header text or sales order item text. You do have a function module called as your read text. So from this function module, I want to read my text of my sales order header, the sales order header. So now how can you do this? So this is one of the most common requirement we will be seeing in our CDS views. They will be asking to provide us the text into a fields. They will be asking to provide us the text into a fields. So those text, in order to call that those text into over here, so what we will be doing, we will be going and creating this virtual elements. We will be creating this virtual elements. Now what I will do, I'll go to my class. I'll go to my class. So here also I have given you the same example. See, what data equal to publish equal to true, and then your discount. Here I'm just casting the discount. See, calculator. Provide the list of elements that are required for calculating the values of the virtual elements. Whatever the list of fields you want to provide, you just need to provide that. So now the calculate here, execute the field calculation. Here execute your field calculation. So this is what I have given you, a blog, so where you can able to read for your Fiori elements. Let me open this blog. I just provide you the blog. So let me show you this one. So now see, here they have given you in detail about what is this, and now see here they have created the virtual elements and they have created. So if you see this UI, so in the Fiori, where you want this to be positioned, where this you want to be in position will be tell by your UI. So this is the next things we are going to see, the next annotations which we are going to see. Now here, so we do have different logic that is available, so I'm just not going to worry about that one. So now see here, what is the value he has provided? See the same thing. So in the ABAP code, in the calculated, so here this is the logic you need to write. So once we got the data, he is appending it to your CT calculated data. He is appending to your CT calculated data. So now what I need to write, I'll going to my calculate field. So here I'll take the CDS view as a type standard table of. See, type standard table of, this is my CDS view. So if I go up, this is what the CDS view he has created. See, GI goods pack. GI underscore V underscore goods pack is what the CDS view he has created. Now he also taken that same thing. GI underscore V underscore goods pack. This is the one he has also taken. That's what I am telling you. So data, I'm just going to take, what is the name? What is the one? LD underscore data type standard table of. What is your CDS view? I just want to provide my CDS view name. I just want to provide my CDS view name, and then I'm going to take this as standard table of this one with the default key. So as I didn't provide the key, so I'm just going to take my default key. Now this is the time you need to provide your logic. What is your logic? So let's take, I'm just going to take my logic. So see here, whatever the lines I'm going to get this, and I'm going to pass my data to my LT data. So whatever the data which is there in my original data, I'm going to pass it over here. So move corresponding, or else I can directly write like this. LT underscore data is equal to corresponding hash. I can say this as IT underscore original data. IT underscore your original data. Now I need to just go ahead and provide my calculated field. I need to just go ahead and provide my calculated field. So now I'm going to provide my calculated field. LT lines, and I'm going to provide this calculated field. So now loop at LT underscore data assigning field symbol. I'm just going to provide this LFS underscore the data. Now I'll just say LFS underscore data hyphen. So you can see here you will be getting your calculated field. It is custom sales area, ERDAT, ERNAM, date, user, VBLN, VKO, RG. You have to get your calculated field. Sorry, I didn't activate this one. You need to activate first your CDS view. Once you got this, I'll just say Control F3. F3, I'm just activating my CDS view. So that's the reason it is not showing your calculated field. Now, once it got created, now I can see here. Let me go back and save this one, execute the transaction code again, execute the transaction code again, 24. I'm just going to my calculated field. So now LFS data hyphen. Now see here your calculated field has came up. Now see here your calculated field has came up. Now I'm just going to take this as calculated field and I'm going to pass this as calculated field. Whatever the field I'm just going to pass, I'm just going to pass that. Once you have done with your thing, then what I need to do, ct underscore calculated data is equal to corresponding, and I'm going to take this as hash, and I'm going to take this as lt underscore your data, lt underscore the data. So this is the logic I'm going to provide. Now I'll just say activate this one. So it's got activated. At the same way, I'll go ahead and activate my clash tool. So now see here when I click on execute, I was telling you you can't able to see this output, but where you can able to see when you are doing it in your. Let me close the remaining things as I don't need that. So now if I say F8, see, you can't able to see the value inside your calculated field. You can't able to see the value inside your calculated field. But now what I will do, I will go ahead and assign one more variable called as odata dot publish is equal to true. Then I'll just go ahead and say F3, control F3. So now you need to go ahead and create your exposer. This has to be exposed. This has to be exposed. How can you expose that? So for this, you need to go ahead and use /o/iwfnd /maint underscore service maintain service. So maintain service, and now I'm going to add my service. So the system alias, I'm going to take this as local, and here you need to provide your external service name. So just provide the CDS view name as your external service name. And then click on get services. Why it's not getting? What is the one? So GCDS sample underscore CDS. GCDS sample underscore the CDS underscore the CDS. Now I'm just say click on get services. Now see here I got my services. I'm going to add the service, and now I'm just going to say this as your $TMP. So I'll be going to show you again at a later point of time, but I just want to show you this right now. So now my service has been created. If I go ahead and click on the search button of my service, so this is my service. My service has been created. My metadata has been uploaded. Now I'm going to my gateway client. Remember my decision. Click on hello. I'll just go to my entity sets. I'll just get the CDS sample. Remember my decision. Hello. So now I'll just click on execute. I'll just say click on your execute. Now I'll just say click on hello. This is the one the data has been a runtime error. So what is the runtime error? /o ht22. So there is a runtime error. So I'm just going to see what is the runtime error. So in the saddle, the current application has internally triggered. So in our class only it is going to for a runtime error. So now what I will do, IT original data, IT requested fields. I'll just go ahead and keep a breakpoint over here. Let's see if it is going to get that one or not. Now let me click on execute. Still the same, even it is not coming over here. Even it is not coming over here. CALCFIELD CDS, it is coming inside. Maybe I guess I have not done this. Let me keep a breakpoint over here and let me activate this one. So now let me go ahead and click on execute. My breakpoint has to be triggered. See, my breakpoint has been triggered. Now I'll just say F5. Here it is getting the runtime components. Now it is going to your calculated fields. Now see here, it has worked and it has shown you your calculated field. See, here you are getting your calculated field. For everything you are getting your calculated field. See this, you are getting your calculated field. So inside your OData service or in your Fiori, you can able to see this output. But when you want to write this in SC38, when you want to write that in SC38, or when you want to write that in your when you want to directly show your CDS view in the output, you can't able to do that. You can't able to do that. You have to always, if you are exposing it to your Fiori, if you are exposing to that your Fiori, then only you can able to see this, or when you are exposing that as an URL. So just a simple thing, when you are exposing that as your URL, then you can able to see all these things. See this? So this is how you need to create your virtual elements. You need to create your virtual elements. So clear? Clear, Lakshmi? Any questions? Lakshmi, it's clear? Hello? Okay, I'm hoping that it is clear for you. So let's get see the next concept called as your ABAP CTEs. This is one of the most important concept. So ABAP CTEs. So what is meant by this ABAP CTE? Let me go ahead and first save this virtual elements, virtual data models, control C. I'm just going to put that in your thing. And now I'm going to see something called as your ABAP CTEs. I'm going to see something called as your ABAP CTEs. Control S. ABAP CTEs. So CTE stands for your common table expression. CTE stands for your common table expression. It is one of the revolutionary concept in ABAP SQL. So when you are writing an ABAP SQL statement, this is one of your revolutionary concept where it is very simple to push multiple chain of SQL queries into one and hit the database once and hit the database. So multiple select queries, we will be writing it one select query and we will be pushing that into your database, So that is what, with the interjection of CTEs, developers should refine from the practice of writing the SQL followed by SISABARC check and then the another query inside a SISABARC condition based upon the result of your first query. So previously how we will be writing, if I go to my paint window over here, so how you used to write your statement. So the first select query and then you will be checking your SISABARC condition, and then you will be writing another select query and then you will be checking your SISABARC condition and then you will be writing your another select query. Like this you will be writing it, right? So you will be writing the query into this format. But now what this CTE says, that the common table expression, we can move the entire query into one single statement, and push that values to the database, to your database. This is what the CTE says that. So previously over here, so refine from the practicing of writing an SQL followed by SISABARC check and then another query inside the SISABARC condition based upon the result of your first query. So now CTEs can be a deep and a long result of one fetch records in. So how you will be writing plus? You will be writing in the form of your plus, and this can be subsequently used further part of CTEs if 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 and where it is a transparent table. Now CTEs is an extension of your OpenSQL and subquery mechanism where multiple queries can be joined with one single with one keyword along with the plus and the last part of the query works for result consolidation, and last part of the query will works for your result consolidation. Some of the important point regarding your CTEs are as follows. So you need to follow these points when you are writing your ABAP CTEs. Each query of your ABAP CTE must always starts with the plus. It always starts with the plus and should be unique. Union, distinct / all can be used. Each CTE expression has to be separated by your comma. So one CTE has been completed, so you have to write another CTE, so you have to mention via separation as your comma. As a keyword is followed by a subquery, select from subquery can also be used in the context of your CTE. So inside your where condition, you can use your previous select query to get those values. CTA syntax starts by with keyword. CTA syntax will always start by with keyword and closed by end with. End with. So always starts with and end with. And however, it can be a same effect as your select and end select. However, it can be same. So CTS and buffering doesn't go together. Client specific code can be used to override the default client handling. These are the most important points you need to remember. You need to remember. Now coming to the sample ABAP code. Now, so my requirement is, see here, my requirement is, first of all, I'm going to get the details from KNA1 and so let me show you that. My requirement is, I want to get the details from VBAK table. For those values, I want to fetch the sales order data, sorry, the sales organization details, the customer details, and then I want to fetch the distribution channel details and the division details. So how you are going to write that? So now let me show you that one. So now I'm just going to SE24, sorry, SE38. Now I'm going to say the program. So now ZCD ABAP example. I'll just say click on your create. So now I'll just say CT example. I'm just going to save this one. Sorry. I'm just going to take this as executable program. Click on save. I'm going to save that in my local object. Now I'm going to say no standard page headings. So as well. So now the start of your selection. Now, what is the first thing? With, and you need to mention your plus, and you need to mention your name. There is this plus, and you need to mention your name. What is your name? So let's take from VBAK. Open your brackets. That's what he has also doing it. If you can see here, open your brackets. So so you need to mention, you need to get the fields. So select from VBAK fields, whatever the fields you want. So whatever the fields you want. So fields distinct, I'm just going to write my distinct VBLN. Why it is not writing my comma? VBLN, VKORG, why it is not allowing me for a comma? It will allow my comma. Select from VBAK fields VBLN, VKORG, VTWEG, SPART, and then KUNNR. So, and I can say this as up to KUNNR. I'm just closing this one, and then I'm going to say this as, next from Marty, equi plus result, and you need to close this one too. So now do your pretty printer. Let's click on check. The last statement period is complete. So now just click on your check. it is not working. Okay. Now select from plus VBAK plus VBAK fields VBLN, comma VKORG, comma VTWEG, comma SPART, comma KUNR into table at the rate data of LT underscore define. So this is the one. Do my printer. Now just click on check. Okay, it's working. So I got confused why when it is showing it as the red color, but it is working. That's fine. Now, so next one. So now see this. Now see this. So what I am going to do it. So the next one is I want to get it from my first thing is I got the details from my VBAK. Now what is the next one? I'm just going to say plus what is the next one? KNA1 as, so select from KNA1 fields. I'm going to say KNA1 fields distinct, or I can say this as KUNNR name 1 land 1 ORT 01 land 1 comma ORT 01 where KNA1 fields where KUNNR is equal to, you can write here one more your select query. See here, I'm just writing my select query where I'm just say in, what is my select query? I'm going to write select from plus VBAK plus VBAK. See here, I'm just going to write the same thing plus VBAK. So I'm going to say my distinct. So I'm going to write my fields and I'm going to say distinct KUNNR. So whatever the kunar that is available over there, with that kunar, I'm just want to get my data. I just want to get my data. So this is what your thing is. This is what your thing is. Now, once you have written this, now what is the next one? I want to get it from my VKORG. So I'm going to take VKORG as the select from. So now I'm going to /OS11. I'm going to VBAK table and just say click on display. Now I'm going to my VKORG. Where is my VKORG? Control F. Control F. VKORG. Now I'm going into my VKORG and I'm going into my VKORG and coming to my value range. What is my value range over here? So TVKO. So I'm just going into my TVKO table. So I'm say TVKO fields. What are the fields I do have? VKORG. So next, what is the next field you do have? So the company code, Lucas, and then so that's it. I'm not going to get any fields where VKORG in select from plus VBAK fields distinct VKORG. So see how many queries I'm going to pass it in one single statement. how many queries I'm going to pass it in one single statement. You don't need to worry about this one. You don't need to worry about this one. So now once you have done all these things, so you need to mention the combination of above three fields. So you have to mention your combination. So you need to mention the last resultant. The last resultant. What is your last resultant? You have to mention that. Once you have done this, so then I'll just say plus result as, so plus result as select from plus VBAK in a join as A in a join plus KNA1 as B on A tilde KUNNR is equal to B tilde KUNNR. The next one is again in a join plus VKORG as C on A tilde VKORG is equal to B tilde VKORG. So now the next one is you need to mention your fields, whatever the fields you do have. What are my fields? A tilde VBLN, comma A tilde I would be saying I will be saying the KUNNR, comma B tilde the name one, next B tilde the land one, comma, see how I'm going to write this query, B tilde ORT01 and then A tilde VTWEG and then A tilde SPART, comma A tilde VKORG, comma A C tilde BUKRS. So this is what your query is. Now I need to get my result. So from RESULT result. Now what are the fields? So you want, you can get that. So now I'm going to say KUNNR and then so I'll just go ahead and do my pretty printer. So KUNNR, SPART, VTWEG, and then I'll just go ahead and say name one, land one, ORT01. So this is what my query is. Now do your pretty printer and let's check this. Comma is not allowed here as expected. Why? I have to mention comma only, right? Right. I have to mention only comma. Why it is not working? Distinct Kunar. Width plus customer plus Marcy plus MHC1 plus EQ plus result plus MARC plus MHC1 plus MHC1. So this is the one which is used to merge multiple queries. So at last you will be writing your result as, if you want to write your this thing, you can just go ahead and say write this thing. So now search here comma, one more bracket, that section. Now click on check. As here also I need to provide your space. Now click on check. So name one. Now click on your check. K and A1. K and A1. Now click on your check. So B tilde unknown column VKO RG. VKO, sorry, this is your C tilde. Now click on check. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Now see this one. So that's the issue. I forgot to provide one more braces. Now just click on activate. Now just click on activate. See, multiple query. I'm just going to pass it in one single statement. Multiple query. I'm just going to pass that in one single statement. I'm just getting the result. Now what I will do, CL underscore demo underscore your output, and I'm going to take this as my display. So now here I'll just pass your GT underscore your final, LT underscore the final. So now I'll just say click on activate. Now click on execute. You can see here the same thing will be shown by querying the multiple. By querying your multiple, the same thing will be shown over here. So this is how you have to work on your ABAP CTEs. This is how you have to work on your ABAP CTEs. So any questions? So that's the end of today's session. Before I signing off for today's session, any questions?
No, Ramesh. Hello.
Okay, I'll be considering. So thank you for. We'll meet you Monday, and we'll be starting with your OData services. But see, the ABAP CTEs is one of the most important concept, I would say. So try to practice this. See how whatever you want, multiple statements you can able to pass it in one single query. Multiple statements. So multiple statements you can pass it in one single query. You don't need to pass, and this is more faster than what we will be writing in our real time. What you will be writing in our real time, this is more faster. Completely SQL statement. This is complete SQL. When you're writing the syntax completely in SQL statement, the entire query will be gets executed in your HANA database. The entire query will be gets executed in your HANA database. Okay, you can here use your union. You can here use whatever you want. I didn't tell you about the union yet. I'm going to show you once our data services are completed. Then I'm going to show you about your union and the union all. Those are the two pending topics also in your CDS view. Okay, I didn't show you the example, but I'll show you that. Yeah, that's it. So we'll meet you again on Monday and we'll continue with our session. Thank you. Thank you.